Inbox. It's time to start turning that around. Those three things would solve a lot. November 7th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Greg from Bailey, Colorado. With the holidays approaching, are Mahad packed cheese trays available for online purchase? This crowd never disappoints. Jeff from Thornton, Colorado. One of my favorite lines from Vic was concerning injuries. You are never really hurt until your QB is hurt. Yes, the loss of Tucker Kraft, https://teamplayers.roster.tuckercraft, especially the way he was playing this year, is tough. But it's now truly time for the pack to pivot. A primetime game against the reigning champs should provide some focus. Play together and play smart. We can get it done. Time to break the Eagles' spell. GPG. The Packers are 1-4 against the Eagles in LaFleur's tenure. It's time to start turning that around. Richard from Madison, Wisconsin. I don't know if this is the right place to mention this, but last week I ordered a giant box of full consistency from Amazon, and it still hasn't arrived. Any idea what might be holding it up? 3 homages in a row. The readership is summoning something here. Tyler from Cornell, Wisconsin. What do you think the crowd will be Monday night? I'm excited. I'll be there for this big game. But I have a feeling there will be some nervous energy at 12:65 as that game kicks off. I think a fast start on D, sack, turnover, 3 and out will get the crowd amped up. A fast start on O, a smooth first drive that ends in us dancing to BTD will equally lift the noise levels. Even better would be both. But its signs of sluggishness show up especially on offense. I think the internal butterfly levels double. I hope the crowd is ready to bring it for 60 minutes. I hear what you're saying about having reason to get amped up early, but this game won't be won or lost in the first quarter. Tom from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. I'm not gonna worry yet. Bad performance, yes. We're 5-2-1. And I don't see a single team in the NFC that scares me. Lots to clean up, but every NFC team is living with that right now. Do you see a path to improvement that makes the Packers the team to look out for? Or do you see them as bad as their Sunday performance? What fixes are needed right now? In a nutshell, a more reliable ground game, reduction in penalties, and a return to defending the run the way they did in the first 6 games. Those 3 things would solve a lot. Matt from Janesville, Wyoming. At the halfway point of this season, how would you say the position switch of Elgton Jenkins, https://www.packers.com/team/roster, has gone? Is it too late to try something different, like a swap of Sean Ryan, https://www.packers.com/team/Ryan, and Elgton? This is a common query, I just don't see it happening. For as new as Jenkins is to playing center full-time, he's got more NFL game experience there than anybody else. I don't think moving him has gone as well as hoped, but the guard spots on either side of him have been in constant flux, which hasn't helped the center or the unit as a whole. In my opinion, we saw the benefits of continuity up front in the second halves of the Arizona and Pittsburgh games. My inclination would be to keep working toward that continuity, not create more disruption and adjustment. Tom from West Salem, Wisconsin. Do you think when the offense has trouble getting in rhythm, a faster pace would help? I don't mean a no-huddle, but just more up-tempo. Another common suggestion. The lack of continuity up front I just mentioned makes me cautious here. Also, adjusting for the first time without Kraft might not be the best time to intentionally push the pace. Going up-tempo is most effective when the offense likes the defensive matchup against a certain personnel package, so it plays fast to prevent substitutions. But it also locks the offense into one personnel group, which rarely is LaFleur's preference. Dave from Germantown, Tennessee. Do you think that someone on the offense has a tell which enables the opponent to anticipate the screen pass? Or are the receivers who are blocking just not effective? It would have been a good topic for WIMM. As LaFleur mentioned Thursday, some of those receiver screens are what they call run alerts, where the QB spits the ball out horizontally if the defensive look to run the ball isn't there. But if an outside defender is right up on the line, that's a bad look for the alert too, because the block is much harder to execute. It sounds to me like another check off the run alert could be coming. Steve from Bradenton, Florida. I know you both don't care much for the NFL analysts' opinions on TV. With that said, Dan Orlovsky, who I respect, said Green Bay is not going to win the Super Bowl with the way their O-line is playing. He went on to say that LaFleur tries to out-scheme the defense on almost every play call. He added perhaps that is the reason for the poor O-line play. I would tend to agree. Does the head coach need to be reminded it's players, not plays? Fourth homage, yikes. Okay, I respect Orlovsky as well and enjoy his commentary, and I think we've established the offensive line play isn't where it needs to be, for various reasons. But I wouldn't put scheme among them. Yes, the unit must improve for this offense to hit top gear and be able to stay balanced, especially in scoring territory. That said, amidst all the searching for remedies, it's easy to lose sight of the fact the Packers put up 369 yards last week on just 7 possessions, and only once in their last 5 games has the yardage total been lower than that. The number 1 offense in the league is Buffalo at 385 yards per game. One week, it might be a couple 3-and-outs. The next week, it's red zone issues. Limitations crop up, but I don't believe the offense is that far off, provided it overcome the loss of craft. Dan from Kenosha, Wisconsin Insiders, we need to stop pushing for explosive plays and push for rhythm instead. Explosive plays happen because a team in rhythm challenges a defense to stop them, creating opportunities over the top. If all you do is push for explosives, there will always be 3 defenders around the ball. I love Coach LaFleur and have no interest in moving on from him, but this has absolutely been his worst season as a play caller. We don't need to figure out how to get a 30-yard gain. We need 6 to 8 yards consistently. That's another one of those fine lines, right? Picking the proper moment to take that shot, to keep the defense honest and make life easier on offense. Timing and recognizing when it's not there all play into it. Vince from Seattle, Washington. Good morning. Living out west. I don't get to see the Packers when they're not a featured game. In the first 2 games of the season, it seemed like the defense was everywhere, swarming to the ball and limiting big runs and yak. Based on what I've seen since, that defensive pressure has diminished significantly. Am I misjudging recent defensive performances, or were the first 2 outliers? As I mentioned in my midweek chat, https://www.packers.com/mid-week-chat. How do the Packers bounce back November 5th, 2025? Opponents have adjusted since the first 2 games to protect themselves from the Packers pass rush in general and Micah Parsons. https://www.packers.com/team/players roster Micah Parsons in particular. We've seen a lot of quick underneath game, pounding the run, etc. Shoring up the run D and Green Bay's offense building a lead. He's the best way to pull an opponent out of that, to allow the defense to fully attack. Julian from Gastonia, North Carolina, the bigger question awaits. I could see Green Bay at least 6-3-1 after 10 games. At that point, 5 of the final 7 games are division games. The results of those 7 games will go a long way in determining both the management and coaching staff for 2026, especially since the team was 1-5 in division games during 2024. I write this even though I doubt you'll share your thoughts. Every season is such a marathon that how it finishes is always what matters most. In the Jordan Love era, we've seen the team peak at the right time and prove it could play with anybody when the stakes were highest. 23. We've also seen it fall flat in the biggest games against the better teams. 24. This year, it's all out there. TBD. 151. Madison Morris, Packers.com. 251. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 351. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 451. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 551. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 651. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 751. Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 8:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 9:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 10:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 11:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. Packers.com. 13:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 14:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 15:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 16:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 17:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 18:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 19:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 20:51, Evan Siegel, Packers.com. 21. When the Packers win a game, they are crowned as the team to beat. They lose, and they are a team that has no chance. Where do they actually stand as a Super Bowl contender? It's obvious, but this team will go as far as they take themselves. Go Pack, go. They are one of 9 teams in the NFC with either 5 or 6 wins and roughly half a season to go. I don't know how else to view it. The conference has a lot of good teams, but nobody's reached juggernaut status. The Eagles will look to stake a claim in that regard Monday night by adding the Packers, 5-2-1, to a victim list that already includes the Rams, 6-2, and Bucks, 6-2. Meanwhile, the Packers can tell the NFL world they have no plans to fade into the background. Whatever happens, there will still be a lot of football left. Johnny from the Sewapi, YI, Mike and Wes, reading questions after the Browns and Panthers losses, and your thoughtful responses. The word discipline or lack thereof comes up often. It would seem that discipline is a more challenging commodity with a younger team. Yes? No? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm tired of the young team narrative. Yes, the fumble on the opening drive in Carolina was on a rookie. But the false starts and holdings were on veteran players. Same for the penalties on defense. This team has plenty of experience no matter what their ages say. Being young on paper can't be a crutch. Evan from Syracuse, New York. I haven't forgotten nor lost appreciation for any of the effort and accomplishments. Brandon McManus. https://www.packers.com/Brandon McManus has provided this team. My question is, if the Packers are holding on to Lucas Havrisik, https://www.packers.com/team/Lucas Havrisik, because they want to ensure McManus is absolutely 100%, then why not let the kicker that they already know is 100% and record-setting kick? They are fortunate enough to be in a position where they don't need to rush their big investment kicker back into action. GPG LaFleur said on Thursday both kickers would kick in practice this week, and they would monitor McManus's health. That tells me there's a lot of uncertainty about his injury situation, and/or there's potential concern the injury could recur. Jeff from Ely, Minnesota. Well, unless Disney, ESPN, ABC reach an agreement over carriage fees with YouTube TV, I won't get to see the Packers bounce-back victory over the Eagles. First world problems. Question. Could I put a little pressure on these companies to get the deal done? Maybe Spoff could threaten to take his well-earned vacation somewhere other than Disney World? Well, my daughter is currently interning there, so I'd better stay mum on this one and just direct you to my live blog. Bill from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. So last year's team lost only to top teams and beat all lesser teams, except for injury-riddled Bears finale. This year, we've won against the 2 playoff opponents and split against the lesser teams, including a loss to the worst one. Is it a regression to be struggling this way? That's up for debate, I suppose. I look at it this way. Would you rather know what your team is capable of, or always be wondering? I felt last year we were always wondering and